Oh, it's the very last game of the European region for day one that we're going to be watching on the broadcast today. It'll be Mitro who we're tuning in with in a 50-50 situation. It's Kinzel. And no matter what mode it is, these guys will always find a way to have that situation drop down.
And that's a situation that Mitro is very, very much familiar with. But Kinzel, former squad mate of Mitro, actually. He's going to make that work. He got the pump shotgun out of it, but quickly gets taken out by Kezix. And I would question that entire sequence at all for Mitro.
It's like Shadow Henchman's yellowing at your ramps. It's a lot to think about, and to try to stay focused winning these box fights. Kezix right now running in circles. I was going to say almost around the competition, but he gets taken straight out by King Bokaj.
Way past the early game, no matter what. The also other thing that happened in that game was it went from the highest points down to the lowest points. As we even see Nowhere to Nate get taken out. Both players who I think we've been tracking in the top 100. Trulex making a kind of misplay to keep himself down at 56 points. Mongol in this game takes off a deal over at Sweaty Sands, most likely. So while there's a lot going on, a lot to unpack in this game, I'm wondering where we're going to end up, because another big name gets taken out, Andalex. And he drops over towards the Misty Meadows side of the map. Vibes gets in the box. And the tracking makes quick work of Hoop, but then another big pump. It's a green one too, but he hits max damage onto Fat Rat Alex. Dominates him.
Oh, that was raw. Adjust being on the back end of the fight when he had the lead slightly. I really want to see this man succeed in this fight. The edits are there. He controls a bunch of them. All the walls, I believe, but with quick movements, his opponent has him on the ropes. Now remember, in terms of people like Frenzy Fishy, like we saw with Kinzel and Mitro as well, these are the last games of the day. They will actually give you an insight of what to do for the rest of the competition. You got 1 HP though. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking straight about the fight, and he's there to knock it down. Frenzy Fishy gets to finally have a victorious moment on the broadcast.
Should be able to make this work. Sebi has just dropped this all down and even tracks through. Has the heavy sniper reloaded, almost went for it, but instantly the other player builds right back up. But a lot of material spent into this. Can Sebi actually catch him? Tries to cone him, but he continues to build up. There's a nice tack shot. Oh, they triple-headed! Sebi is a monster with the speed, and that's Swite, who gets swiped down right there. Sebi, 78 points, and the one elim on that massive fight. There's still more here, though, in Weeping Woods.
Yeah, and although sometimes you're not able or allowed to find it, the heavy sniper, key to all doors, will let Sebi do that. And once again, 50-50 position, owns the walls, doesn't actually get the second. It's a third party that comes in, but is he really on the attack, or is he just trying to survive on defense? Because in a box with Sebi, you're asking for doom.
And they both trade heals a little bit. Sebi might have the advantage. I already hear the reload coming in on the other side, so possibly only minis available. Reloading everything. Key going forward so that they're available. Sebi looking for his third in a row. Potential for a quick W. And he does right there. The heavy snipe into the box. Almost gets the wall too. There it is, finally. And you never want to be fighting for that wall. If you're... It's going to be a little rough backing away from air. The pickaxe still coming through. And again, people are playing very aggressively in this game. As the queues were closing, this is probably what we're watching right now. An effect, a W key game. But you have to wonder, when does it stop? When are people actually full committing? A nice shot from Legendary to take out the player who's chasing him, but another party comes in right after that. He does have the momentum, have the movement to actually make his way back out. So now heals up. And I don't think we've seen a queue system with that, except maybe at DreamHack tournaments on LAN. So different styles. Here's Droban in another fight. This is do or die, because I think at this point it's a full commit for the games. And yes, the AR spray. Oh my goodness, last bullet, her last HP available. And Droban makes it. That's coming right up after this. But right now, again, last game of EU, last potential for players to earn their points on day one. This is huge. This is a moment that, I mean, you could tell the tension. You could tell how few people are going down. Listen to the amount of shots go down. This is what you got to be careful for, because as players are playing close to the chest. They're also looking for easy opportunities just like that for Larry. He needed a lot in this game to make this work, to catch up to that first spot. And Hen's gonna heavy snipe RPG it. Yes! Takes out Mongrel and ends his day. He committed to this game, slight gamble, possibly, to catch up to players just like Hen. And he will fall to a player who's above him in the standings right now. We'll have to see where that actually ends. I believe probably around 156 points for Mongrel, but that's the end of the day.
Now we see a little bit of a rare sighting with Cavado, who we only ever see in Endgame or at the agency, but just like both those moments, he's precise, superbly accurate, and at the same time, taking big pressure and surviving it. Not even taking a shot of damage just yet. He's looking as strong as we see him in his biggest moments. And although 3 RPGs have hit his head, he is cool, calm, collected, sorting through loot, has 9 floppers to use as well. He's going to drop one of them, but oh, because of that, now finally the RPGs catch up. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence here right now. He's getting combo through by multiple third parties. I believe this is 2 different people trying to RPG him with an AR that's also just rattling on his metal boxes. Has a lot of mats to work with, but okay, he's taken out.
And it's Refsguard, who sees the opportunity, who sees the pickle that he's in. Right down on low ground, had no room. He was basically half of his body down into the ground in terms of builds. He really had nothing to work with at all. Look at how many people are on the left side of the minimap compared to the right side. And this is a huge ravine, one of the biggest in the games to cross. So difficult situation. Bokaj is going to look all the way down and find Droban, but no launch pad in his inventory. And being up on height right now, I'm wondering if there's going to be a player who uses it up above. Possibilities are there, but that's really what basically everybody needs, though. Looking at the south side, there looks to be a path down low. Here it is. Refsguard there, Larry up there, Hen.
Get to that mission to move up this mountain. Hen will slowly break all the way forward. Right now missing a lot of eliminations, but at the same time trying to actually find a way to play out the rest of this game, caught between a rock and a very high mountain. He's finally making the push, but it's slow, it's methodical. Now picking up 1 elimination, made a little bit of noise. Will people find out that he's here, slightly just makes it in. He can now play out the rest of this game, and it moves even more forward. Above the mountain, dropping down from it again. It's going to be a waterfall scenario, and he actually trades heavy snipers on the back end of one, taking big damage, no white heals available, only 4 seconds to play around with in the storm.
And he has to get up. I see this as a very difficult situation in front of him. I think he wants to get in this box with a heavy snipe. No. So actually just going to build out to the side, uses his brick now. But still, how does he actually make this rotate? There's so many people looking at him, and Zeno will take him out. Running straight at him. Moki in this game, 77 points for her. Potential to rise up in the top 80 for today with this one game. Top 26 right now. She has a launch pad to work with to get across, and she's going to use that. Goes out to the side to make sure that her head does not get blocked, and should be able to pick from a lot of nice positions here in zone, but really not too many people high up at all, so she's going to be playing down on the mid ground.
Yep, smartly skipping the most difficult part of this end game competition. She now looks to see if she can make a base in zone and turn back for those beams, for those big 4 points in Elim. But no, instead, choosing to go for possible box ups. Just make sure her base is strong. Now she's side by side with multiple players. Finally, almost has a lair of her own. No big power weapons in this loadout, so it'll have to be builds and shots she has to take. Possible high ground maneuvers available as well, but her mats are starting to run low. Now, completely out of metal, on the back end of just 200 brick, she has to find a way to refresh. 0 eliminations so far, Balla. She's only playing off of replacement so far, but finds another launch pad.
A nice launch pad too. She opts to go past where she needs to go because the zone is going to continue to reveal low ground positions. And she does land directly on top of Kaiser, but also Faye, who does break in her box. That's going to be a fight that she might have to take. Meanwhile, Vibes on the mid ground, very high up. He's got floppers if he needs to, but this is going to start to drop off this mountain a little bit. He does get the Stormy Limb on the Zeno, and that's going to be really nice as that Siphon. But then all the way down to low ground is a lot of different players thinking the same thing as we approach in the top 10.
And it's only the 7th zone, so it can bounce back right now. Fanta has control of the high ground, taking out the other Xeno who was in the game. Vibes looks to be the king of low, and no map battles down below. He has the control of the piece. It's the wall. Jason gets taken out, and Vibes is now low ground, feeling really good, controlling everything and a big abundance of maps, but I'm concerned maybe possibly overbuilding here. He now only has 5 left, a pump available, but limited options.
And he didn't actually get the refresh materials off of that. Moki finds Kura. I believe this might be right next to... There's a heavy snipe in. Oh no! Pulled out the mini Kaiser with a big blunder by accident. And failing on the execution a little bit. Saves Vibes a little bit because he has the materials now. Shizolele and Red Rush in a fight with a minigun. They're really, really high up, but Red Rush has that grappler to make things work.
Yeah, Red Rush is trying to be as loud as possible. Now finally drops down. Too much action for him, and 2 back-to-back pumps from Vibes. The last person left alive, I believe, is Moki on height, who stays cool, calm, and collected the whole game through.